Yeah. Done.
Yeah.
Yellow, lovely people.
Hello.
Right, give myself a like because people forget to leave a like. Do leave a like, just a comment. Let us know how you are because it all helps. Right, I need to get that screen off. Put that one back on. I'm laughing hysterically today, everybody. Hello, welcome to the Spiritual Course of Equity. Everything we thought, we just thought now we're going to do something else because there are some really key wonderful things. So, welcome to Concordia Consularis, the spiritual and business agency of peace. We are here to help your awakening, remind you of things, inspire things, and just remember, you inspire us because we're all in this ship on earth together. We are. And fabulous as that may be, it comes with its challenges. Hello, Harrison.
Hello, how are you, everyone? It has been a minute.
Stuff, right? So we thought we were going to take a little look at Africa today because there's some major inputs going on. You might have heard of various, let's say, on the left arm of the system going to interfere in processes in Africa and the people aren't having it. So we decided that we would refocus on not what they are doing, but what we are doing. And this is really important in the awakening process. And look, I've been through this process many years ago, and I just want to help you get to where you want to be, where your soul needs to be, and provide advice, guidance to help you get there. So, the spiritual courts of equity are still in operation. If you do have an issue, do bring it forward. Say what it is. Don't hold back. Don't feel as if you can't. And if you get a subliminal impulse in you saying, don't contact them, don't contact her, then it's coming in from an external source. And you can't believe it. They'll make you wonder if it's true or not. And your hesitancy on this path is a block, in essence. Anyway, lovely people. I feel like because we haven't been here and I'm just drinking coffee, like I love it, like water, that we need to perhaps go over to Harrison and we're going to have a little look at Harrison's awakening and remembering and exploring that in more depth. Harrison, can you tell me can you repeat to everybody what you just told me about this memory?
Yeah, it's a memory about having an aspect of me like in the waters and just having a lot, thinking a lot, but it was kind of activated by the clips of different videos that are posted out there. Like one of them was this kind of Wakanda clip where there's this civilization that lives around the Mexico region. They have this Mexican identity and they live under the ocean and they attack the Wakanda, which is on the surface. And even before that, I was having like yeah, there could be a possibility of having different aspects of myself or exploring life deep in the oceans, and also having different pathways where remembering like having lives in Japan and different other places. So that's mine was triggered because I saw a clip. That's what I would say. You're on mute.
And pardon me, folks, it's middle-age madness. So, Harrison, how did it make you feel? What did it bring up in that vision?
Well, when I was thinking about it, it was more of being there and not being able to achieve an idea or an aspect or something I wanted to achieve. And I thought like exploring or looking into the challenge that was happening at that time in another angle, in another way, would assist the self, which is a soul, to accomplish some of the things that it wanted to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And coming up here and then being in a position where you forget that you had experienced your life in this dimension. But the thing that makes me feel connected is when like I'm near different water bodies, like a river, like a stream, like a pool of water, being attracted, wanting to stay there, just observing, not thinking much, just observing how birds are interacting with the water. Some of them are flying above and then dipping themselves inside and going up into the air, just enjoying and feeling this sense of freedom. And I think this is what like kinds of triggers the memories of, having experienced my life as maybe in the waters.
The experience of life in the waters. So on Earth, our bodies have elements: earth, air, fire, water. And we respond to all these different elements connected in the body, functioning with light. That's amazing. We love that. So look, let's put Harrison in the spiritual court of equity. Are you happy to join in the spiritual court of equity, Harrison? All the guys are waiting for you. They just say, hello. Okay, so let us look here at your entire journey. I'm just bringing your whole infinite journey into the spiritual court of equity. And just reminding everybody out there, spiritual court of equity is the original wisdom and just way to resolve any issue that you currently have on earth today, because all of it will have come from your past experience as an infinite soul. We do not just live one lifetime. And there'll be many belief systems saying, no, you're born, you die, and that's it. It doesn't work like that. It's so limited in its own thought. And I wholeheartedly reject that, because my experience is something very different. So, Harrison, what can you feel here? Let's just take, say, 500 incarnations into the future from that time you had that thought, where you're just literally staring backwards at all of your incarnations through all previous teacher worlds. And just really go with that feeling. It's all there present, and you're taking the overview. It's a kind of form of infinite hindsight.
What I see, it's like when I'm going into this position where I was experiencing my life in the waters, it's like it had reached a point with the experiences that we are having at that time. Instead of experiencing growth, it was like the life force, the creativity, the the expression of freedom was dwindling and crashing, and the way you plan your soul as life journey, it's not achievable. Like you're not doing much to assist the planet in the direction that you wanted to move it. It's like the the collective consciousness of the people was declining. And it was like, it was not only I, there were multitudes of beings who thought and believed maybe approaching it from another dimension would be better. And maybe it worked for a while before everything went, I would say, to shit. So um but it was just an expression of where you are looking at life in a different way. But this is not where you move fully, but you leave other aspects of your, like when we look like in African tradition, most of them don't talk of in reincarnation. They talk about the name, like your child's the name that you give your child will be the name that is the name of your parent. So you live through the name. And maybe you can like when I was younger and you're interacting with old people, they would tell you, like, you look like so and so, and you have never even met that person. Maybe that person was long gone, but you are portraying behaviors of a soul that was here before, because you are born through that lineage. And this is where the naming is quite important. And you are named after after your parent or someone in your life, like maybe you're an uncle or an extended family, but the naming comes from your family tree. So that means your traits and your incarnation are within that tree. And this is the direction that I'm seeing it in the Ma waters. Like I mean, in the waters, there's a group of beings there that experience their life in that direct. That's their belief, where they believe they live through the names they give to the children. So it so when these beings, like I being one of them, chose to leave that expression and come into this expression of being the surface being, doesn't mean I was not living an aspect of me was not living on the surface. It was, but it was like pulling a majority of myself into the service, where I was more concentrated in the service other than in the waters. But still, there'll be aspects of me in the waters experiencing life. So enjoying both. But right now, as trying to figure out this expression right here and now, and looking at the data and projecting it to the future and seeing the limitations that will come with the way the choices the human beings are making, it kind of triggers this memory and wonder, was it the best decision to come over into the surface? Because you are seeing the systems humanity has created. It's now no longer creativity. It's now no longer expression of freedom. It's more of following the law, and following the law. It's not in the sense of, it's not bad, but it's following a set of rules put out by people that would want to prevent expression of full soul sovereignty. So it's like you think in the way I'm seeing it, there was this animation called The Ant, where the ants would march in a certain direction. When you're born, you're given your set of duties. If you're born a soldier, you die a soldier. If you're born a worker, you die. So you either become a worker or a soldier. Those were your only two options. And this is how, when we have reached in an expression where It's now you have been given these sorts of choices. And if you fail to make some of these choices, even when you are in your younger years, when you don't even have much data to make choices on, it determines the rest of your life.
It
And
really does.
yeah, and it will be quite challenging for you to even navigate into what your sole purpose is. It becomes quite challenging.
Exactly. It's true. It absolutely is. And what you're saying speaks of many people that have these amazing soul capabilities, but they don't want them and they reject themselves and their purpose. And they think that they're not, but they are. Anyway, so, you know, I get what you're saying here. Trauma and past traumas, ancestral traumas, personal traumas from every single incarnation will have had an impact on that. So I just want you to observe yourself in the spiritual court of equity there, Harrison. We have done quite a bit of work with your ancestors. They're great. And can you quickly just remind me of your lineage tribe name?
So right now in this incarnation, I'm from the lineage of the Kikuyu tribe. The Kikuyu tribe.
Kikuyu.
K-I-K, yeah.
And I remember you telling me how your people are linked to the Hopi people.
Yeah, they have there's this Hopi prophecy where they say one of the tablets was taken by the Kikuyu brother and it rests on Mount Kenya. So yeah, there's that connection.
And they're fully aware, their elders are fully aware of this. I've got goosebumps here.
Yeah, and the stories I've heard is that you know, the Hopi elders have this thing they call the dream world, and they're able to visit different mountains in this dream state. They could climb on top of Mount Everest and they would describe what Mount Everest is. They could go in different areas on our planet and describe them with precision. But when it came to climbing Mount Kenya in their dream state, they would always say the moment they started climbing, there was a force that would always bring them down at the foothills of the mountain.
Is that right?
Yeah, we have stories
Now,
of
I wonder who put that in place.
I don't know, but the stories of the mountain, it's because also from the colonial times, this was after the queen had ascended to power. And the reason why, which has also been credited to the Kikuyu tribe and the Mau Mau for a larger, greater view, but most of the Mau Maus are composed of the Kikuyu tribe. This is where the first place where the British people experienced extreme resistance, which created a revolution around Africa. And when you go across Africa, they'll tell you their revolution came because they saw Kenya fighting for the independence. And because the British Empire wanted to crush the spirit of the Kikuyu and the people of around the mountain, the generals had decided they were gonna bomb that Mount Kenya, and it had been passed. And then an order came from the queen herself, then they were told they should keep off that mountain. So it was her who stopped the bombing of the mountain.
Ah, interesting.
Yep.
So, Harrison, have a look at what's happening to the impacts from your 4 previous teacher worlds in this moment in the court.
Like from here now, what I see right now, it's like there's this consistent memory that's happening that I'm able to connect with what's happening now. Right now, they are beating the drums of war. And in this previous teacher world, because it had reached a point where, you know, they caused and creation events using various different methodologies, but it all ended up in wiping life forms on the planet. And this is the consistent thing that I'm seeing coming up. Like, I don't want to go through that experience again,
Yeah.
where we have a group or a clique of people who have decided to elect themselves. Nobody has elected themselves, and they cannot have a cup of tea with one another, these old men and women, and resolve their issues, but they want to drag the rest of humanity into wars and
Familiar
ending.
story.
Yeah, and this is what I'm seeing playing also into the rest of the people, also in the court, where they're experiencing these different teacher worlds, where it's coming, most of it is coming as memories of war.
Yeah.
Where they see an end of an era, and some of them are quite fearful.
Yeah.
And I think that's how they want to create it, where they create this fearful state and they're able to replicate what they did into all these previous teacher worlds. But I think that's the card they are playing. So
This is it.
looking back at this teacher, this is what is prevalent, where it's war, fear, and a limitation of expression.
And as you've spoken that, I feel another avenue waking up here. So part of the process of being a guide, a soul guide, is being able to encourage the person to move beyond the memory. The memories hold in the physical as positive, and we tend to accept those as being normal. But there are many memories that have negative energies, traumas attached to them. So we're just bringing in the water aspect of you here, because there is huge potential in this moment. Now, I've asked in the Spiritual Court of Equity for them to heal, and we're just doing extra levels of you personally letting go in your own journey of those traumas. And you'll see exactly where we're going in just a moment, but they've just advised me it's okay, because it's the depth of the waters and the currency of the waters that is being restricted through the flow of who Harrison naturally is. He works with the element of water and has done for eons.
Yeah.
And I see that smile on his face. Yep, that's me. Right. So look, what do you observe as you see yourself in spiritual court? Because it's an infinite spiritual court. It never left the individual or earth, but it was suppressed. So, Harrison, what do you see of yourself happening in the court?
No, I'm just seeing this life where I was a fisherman, like I'm hanging over the boat. I think I was some kind of a kid, like our life here was the life of a fisherman. It was a simple life, but it would bring pure joy and exploration of the region in the waters and different islands that were there. And now this brings me back to the memory of, I don't know if you ever watched this animation called Moana.
Yes.
Where her tribe was hiding from her, they were explorers.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden she realizes they were explorers. And this ancient song starts to sing, where she sees her ancestors would look at the stars up in the sky, and they would be able to predict the direction of where they were in the sea. And this song has stuck in my head for quite a long time when I saw this, and it's actually one of my favorite parts of Moana.
Yeah.
So
same.
This is what it's bringing up those kind of memories where I was like a young kid doing exploration of the water and with a boat. feeling how free it was. And it was not about the income that was coming from that activity, but the satisfaction and expression that was coming up, because at this time, this society where I was, it was not a society driven by finances, because they didn't even have forms of currencies. It was about service to the community and expressions and knowledge and morals that you have and that you are using to express to other people.
Exactly. So, how does water you look?
So the water that
The
I'm looking
water
at,
aspect, yeah.
okay, I think there were some parts that were a bit murky,
Mm-hmm.
but when like it's like this clear up happening, and there's this flow. It's like dancing, and then this form of water is it's like of I would say it's in another form of state that's quite resonating with the frequencies around it. It's highly programmable, and I can see also versions of me doing the programmings of water at the basic level eons and eons of years back, where this is all what we did. And like I have extensive knowledge in terms of water prediction. I mean, programming and expression and how it's used, like by our physical beings. And also in our tribe, like they say, the first atom that was created by God was water, because that's the first thing, and there was a covenant. And this is where the highest ceremonies that are done in our tribe, you use water. And that is why it is used for blessing. This is why it is used for washing. When you are dirty, you use water to
Clean.
to clean yourself.
Yeah.
Like it has so many purposes, and this is why it emanates. This is why even churches use water for baptisms and that. So water is a powerful element.
It really is. Now, Harrison, can you feel that energy in the spiritual quarter vectory of what's happened with your 4 previous teacher worlds at the end of this cycle that has been completed?
When I'm looking back, I'm seeing it's like they're falling off, and there's this elevated level that's there, and I'm seeing it's a working process that was working for a long time. It's coming to like fruition here.
Yeah.
Where like these layers and layers of these 4 teacher worlds, and how it would create a loop, and you create, it's like more or less the same thing, and it would end up in the demise of multitudes of population. And I feel there's this awakening among the souls right now, and I can feel this resonance among them. None of them want to recreate these events again. They are choosing something totally different, and the system that's current here and now don't want that. They
don't want that.
They are kind of, they think this is their card and they can be able to maneuver and outplay and re-engineer and create something out of chaos that they are gonna do, like creating an event like what happened in the 4 teacher worlds. But creating that right now, it's a bit challenging.
It is, because they just haven't got the real know-how. They think they have, but nobody's giving it to them. Now,
Well,
Harrison, we've got a job. And now, why have I got this big smile on my face? Because I just know what he's going to do. So, Harrison, in this moment, in this ever-present, infinite moment that will carry on to the future, roll through the past, I'm asking your highest version of self to step into this moment. Right, you got it?
yep.
Right, you ready to go? With all your supporting water tribe, all water tribes across Earth, all locations above, below, side by side, in all dimensions, realities, and time streams that we all simultaneously exist on. The people of the water. Harrison, now the time is with this version of you to remove the negative memories from the waters of Earth, from the earthly planes, through the water, yourself, your lineage, and all future generations. You have the codes, and the water aspect of you here is, let's say, ready, super ready to apply these codes to all waters. And just observe yourself on the spiritual court of equity in there and see what's happening.
I'm seeing this is an old man wanted to say in the sixth dimension, but I see him even in higher levels, but this is how I'm perceiving him.
It's you.
Yeah.
Go on, go for it, go for it. I'm going to stay quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's but seated in like this chamber, and then there was like this frequency he was doing in the water, like it's like tapping on it, and it was producing these kind of shapes, like it's working through sounds, and then there's a way that amplification happens when it's working. It has to be on running water, specifically if you can find a stream or a small or a river where water is not flowing all that fast, it's a bit slow. And then there's this clapping and humming, like it's creating a frequency, and there's this resonance, and it's like happening from fast for deep within, because it's like I see myself like inside deep within the earth structure, where that water gets programmed, and then from beneath it rises up, like clearing stuff and going into different places, but also making sure this water is not hijacked and teleported off into other places that it's not supposed to be going. Like it's for our planet. That's what it's supposed to do.
Exactly. Do you know what? I just had a vision then. If anyone's seen The Mandalore or Mandalorian, these are the living waters. This is what it is. So, Harrison, do what you need. Ask this version of yourself to just completely program the waters for peace, erase all negative warring memories, and bring the abundance currency through your body. And describe to me what you see.
Yes, I've just asked that, and that's being done. And what's also happening is like this version of water, because my idea is like it's gonna be abundant, full expression everywhere for everyone. But I'm being told there will be restriction for access of this water because people are in different form of realization and they're in different process of their awakening. It's like you can't take this highly activated water and give to a person who is not ready to consume it because it's gonna blow off their psyche. They need to take it in different levels. So it's like it's being programmed in different frequencies where like is that first layer that you have that remove the covers on your eyes, and then once you have been able to see through that and handle that, you go to the next level. It's like a layered step that's there.
Love it.
And it
It is
can be so
literally
few and
like
so many steps as you require.
like the living womb waters of Earth.
Yeah.
And the child grows through every stage of development.
Yeah,
So
that
I'm so excited about this for you. Right. Now, you have the genetic and ancestral capability here, and you can just send that into your future generations, that power, especially those that are incoming to this earth. This is for them, really. And it's all being blessed. Oh, how beautiful.
Yep.
Describe what you see.
It's like this dancing happening within the court, like there's this joy and happiness.
Right.
Yeah, and what I'm seeing is that the future incoming generations, from before they come into our planet, they are aware of this power within themselves. The problem is
The parents.
yeah, when they are coming and the conditions that are put in there, where like right now in our society, hospitals are choosing not to go through the natural birth of way because it's not profitable. They're choosing to go the cesarean process because for them that's more profitable. So
yeah,
it's one of the limitations that's there. And then from there, they are introduced. If you happen to go into various religions where water, you're told it's holy water packed in a small a small bottle. It's very precious. You buy it, so you're not told how to create your own. You're only showed how to purchase it, and then it's like this distortion after distortion after distortion. And before you know it, you are in a position where you don't even know that you have this capability within you to create this highly programmable water. And this is what has been encoded within the waters. When people start to consume, they start to realize how they can achieve it. And one of the things that I'm receiving is, if a person can be able to have access to rainwater because it's not contaminated in, let's say, in a region that's not polluted, one of the things, it's one of the highly pure water that's out there, which has gone through the process where it was on the ground, it has seeped through, it has gone to the ocean, it has evaporated, gone into steam, formed a cloud. So it has gone through the entire process. So the moment you're collecting that rainwater has been programmed at the highest level with collective consciousness there. And you consuming that amplifies your energy. So it's a highly effective form of water if you can have access to.
Right, this is. But I will say that you have that ability, as do many tribes of the water, to transform it in this moment. In Mexico, it doesn't surprise me because it is the people of the Atl, pardon, and the people of the water who came from the water and knew exactly how to activate this water. And this is the water, the exact technological process that was used to connect every single pyramid or sacred site on this earth, because this is how they move the energy. So, Harrison, do your thing on earth. Program those, reprogram the waters from within.
Well, from that level, I can see the water is programmed, but also there's this other aspect that I'm getting from the stars.
Right.
Yeah. You know, when the waters are there, when the stars are shining, so it's like they absorb also energy from the stars. And there's this level of knowledge that's out in the air where different people are gonna tap into it, where tremendous things are gonna be created. But also I'm being told of potential water wars that might be created where, like, where the system of domination and control wants to tokenize everything in the society. And one of the major things they are targeting is water, because it can be a thing that can be used to instill fear, because lack of it can cause death and much harm. And this is one of their way they are looking to tokenize it and limit it, and restriction being given on how to use that water. And what I'm being told, it's a choice for the people to make. But the first way to experience this true freedom of water, if they can have access to a stream or a river, or even be able to collect rainwater, that would be a starting point.
Yes, it literally is becoming, having and developing this relationship with the elements that basically are Earth. And this is what every system, I'm just going to refer to the system, yawn, will try and harness the resources on Earth, but also every single mineral compound that will be present in those waters. So what has been put in place to not permit the sacred waters, the narrative people, you know, who we're talking about, they know who we're talking about.
Okay. The first thing that I'm seeing is that they have started desecrating the water, where they put chemicals and industry, where their waste of industrial waste is being directed into rivers.
Yeah.
And some of them tell you we purify our water, and so we release treated water, but in reality they are contaminating this water and releasing it to the people in higher level, because they have already attacked the spirit of the water. Within your two eyes you are seeing clean water, but the life of the water has been taken out. by the chemicals they have put in there.
Mhm.
And then the other part is where they are attacking water catchment areas and turning them into like monetizing these areas. And the way they have also taken a free resource that's given by our Mother Earth freely and making it an extreme high commodity that where people are paying high bills to just use water. Like people can't have proper baths because the water bills are gonna be high. People cannot explore with water to try maybe even water their plants because they are not gonna be able to pay their water bill. So it has been taken to this extreme level where an abundant resource has been made to be a scarce resource.
When there's plenty of it,
Yeah.
plenty of it. So what is the solution to remedy and resolve that in this moment?
So one of the things that are being shown, like physically what has, because in the spiritual form, things have already settled out, but physically what people can do is that there are people who are going into these places where they own their own homes and their places. If they can be able to have like water tanks or water holding reservoirs where they are not depending on the system, because the system depends on finances that you pay to them to maintain that infrastructure. But the
Yeah.
moment those finances dwindle and people start rejecting their models of operating, they will start diffusing it into more love and light where, like if you price something so high and nobody wants to buy it, you'll have to reduce your prices to whatever people want to pay. And that's how you start taking control slowly by slowly and reaching to a point where if you're gonna pay anything, it's just the maintenance of that infrastructure, because there's an understanding there are people who live far away from water catchment areas or near rivers, because there are people who could live even 10, 20 kilometers away, and it would not make any sense to walk 10 kilometers away or 5 kilometers away to fetch a jerrycan of water. So you'd need some form of piping or whatever. But that doesn't mean every single drop of water is being metered on how you use it and being charged an arm and a leg to use that water. So it's a resource that should be out there for free. And if there's
Good.
any payment, just maybe for the piping and the person who is maintaining it, not for profit.
Exactly that. So, in the human body, how can you personally, for your journey in particular, but everybody can hear this, how can you align your physical body to receive more of the pure living waters?
I'm seeing there are different versions of it. If somebody can be able to, if someone can have access to a pool and be able to go and dip themselves in there and they focus just on their breathing, they can be able to absorb it. If there's no access, maybe going to a shower and specifically turn the cold shower, because that is the kind of shower that will activate most of your capabilities. And then from there you can grow it from there. But also you can also put yourself in a spiritual court of equity and just focus your attention and in your intuition and the direction that you get to just reprogram yourself, because what I'm being told is that like we talk of our thoughts, but our thoughts is also another form of water that's flowing out there. So if we can be able to take hold of that flow of water in form of your thoughts and being able to direct into the directions that you want, you'll be able to reprogram the water that's inside you.
So it becomes in alignment with that sacred, original, living water.
Yeah.
So that, you can align yourself, but also program your water to bring you the complete flow, but also to eradicate negative memories that have been imposed upon those waters. Using those waters to heal your soul, because your soul of light and fire resides in the body.
Yep.
So you can heal your DNA, and you have to be really specific and focused and sacred with this, through prayer form, through sacred intention, through your whole being, and you can program it to reject system values that will basically violate your experience. And we can take the use of water to the whole new next level of your awareness. And if there's anyone out there, and I'm just saying this from personal experience, if there's anyone out there going to think that they can manipulate this water just by having a thought, oh, I can do that, think again, because there are specific cultures on Earth holding space for the protection of the waters. And there's nothing that you can do to interfere with those processes. And I speak that through the digital worlds. And there'll be people out there that do not like this organization. There'll be healers, light workers haven't healed themselves enough to be able to hold that responsibility on Earth. It will be negated if you attempt to misuse spiritual technologies like this. It's already been seen. So I just wanted to get that out there to those that have a negative eye to cast upon sacred things. So yeah, look, this is really amazing stuff. So from that spiritual court, how does your soul look and feel?
I feel more freer. I feel like this process has been completed and like from my level.
Yeah.
And it feels calm and happy and yeah.
Fluid.
Yeah.
Not restricted and contracted.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So how do you feel about having this memory, this remembering, awaken your soul?
Like there's this expression that I cannot describe where you didn't know you knew something, and then all of a sudden you start having these emotions and feelings that you know something, and you become curious to investigate it and to look deeper into it. And the more you look into it, the more it expands and brings more knowledge into you that only I myself can be able to understand and explain. That will not be something of importance to another person, but to me it brings joy and happiness to know that I'm remembering this and having these deep memories, because it's like also activating some parts of the brain to know, like yeah, like
Pineal
I have
gland?
yeah.
Right. I've got a big smile on my face for you, Harrison. We're going to have a huge conversation after this about what you're going to do with this ability. So, lovely people, this is why have I got a big smile on my face all throughout this recording, because I knew where he was going with this. And when as soon as people realize their capabilities as these amazing souls on earth, right, they can do their work. It's literally that focused. And, you know, it just makes me so happy and joyful, because that is my work, to activate you to the next level of your own journey. And there aren't many people on this earth that can do this. And I'm saying that because I value my entire 25-year process with these techniques, technologies, and personal growth and development. And I just want to see you get to yours, all of you. I'm going to be in the US for a few weeks. If you would like a session with me in person, I can give you that detail of where that would happen and how that would happen. And we can take it from there. Everybody, you are so loved. Your souls are loved. This is an awakening. We've never been this far in our own evolution. Take and let nothing get in the way of that. Nothing. No body, no job, no system barking out what you should be doing with your life. Your soul knows everything. Your soul knows why you are here, what you need to do. And I ask your souls, direct you in my direction. I will give you 500% of my ability to help you through that process. And I absolutely offer that from my heart and soul. That is my purpose here. So, lovely people, thanks very much. Loving you all, and enjoy. Remember your awakening. Remember the memories, write them down, because you really can transform this. And I just wanted to bring that thanks and inspiration to you all. So, any last words there for people going through their awakening, Harrison?
Just pay attention to what's happening around you, observe nature. That's how you reactivate your memories, because that's where the creativity is now. Most of it is left.
Yeah, look, as you know, I just can't help but just get a word in as well at the end. Everybody here, chat, past, present, and future, in the comments eventually. I love you all, and I really bloody mean that. Oops. Everything switches off and clumsiness sets in.